Hello everybody, I got a question for you. In your artificial lure arsenal, do you have one bait you call your pet lure, your go-to lure, your confidence lure? One bait you find yourself fishing when conditions get tough. I mean really tough. I bet you do. And I bet I know what it is. Could it be a jig? Could it be a jig and plastic combination? Yep, I thought so. It's mine also. Yep, this is one fine bait. Add an attractor to the hook and you've got a winning combination that'll produce fish 12 months of the year in a stained to clear water environment. Now let me tell you something. Jig fishing requires concentration and sensitive hands to feel any change in resistance of the jig as it swims, hops, or falls. Now, anytime you feel even a faint degree of lessening or increased tension, it's smart to set the hook. Always be a line watcher. Keep a close watch on where the line enters the water. Pads. I'm going fish. Woo. All right, buddy. Come up here. Even better than I thought. Yes, sir. Pretty one in there. Fat, chunky fish. All right, here we go. Kablook, and away it goes.
Bill Dan's Outdoors is sponsored in part by Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. Your adventure starts here. Rebel, catch fish anywhere. And by Mercury Marine, go boldly.
Today's Conditions Log is brought to you by the Tennessee Department of Tourist Development. Come experience the kind of beauty that can only be made in Tennessee. Go online today for your free Tennessee vacation guide.
Hey, partner. You got all that junk around you. Pretty one. To come back here and get you. Boy, aren't you pretty? Look at that coloration. Pretty fish. It's got all the colors. Healthy too. You know, when you're fishing a jig, it's important to stay in contact with it at all times. To fish it effectively, you've got to know what it's doing from the time it leaves your rod tip until you get it back. Feel is everything. Only when I know exactly what it's doing do I know when to move it, stop it, move it a little faster, or when to work it slower. If I'm not feeling it, I can't work it properly. So you've got to know what it's doing at all times. That's so important. Jig and trailer combinations are classified as presentation lures. That is, the key in using them successfully is presenting them properly. Essentially, that presentation comes as the lure falls, which means it's a fairly easy outfit to learn to use. Regardless of the jig you decide to use, make sure to work the lure with the rod, not the reel. When using the reel to move the bait, the rod position is generally more horizontally. As the jig falls off a piece of cover, there's not enough slack to allow the bait to drop vertically. Instead, it glides towards you and away from the target. Even if the distance is only a matter of a foot or two, it can cause the lure to swim completely out of the strike zone. And when a bass is in a non-aggressive mood, this can be critical. However, when the rod is used to move the jig, the higher the position lets you drop the rod as the bait climbs over something, keeping it close to the object. Better one right there. Get out of those pads. Boy, they like to just go around and around in those pads. Okay. Put that old jig way back in your mouth. There, got it. Another one. Caught a bunch like that today. Thick, healthy fish. Look at all that gold and green. Isn't that pretty? Okay, toodaloo. Gone.
Today's show is brought to you in part by Quantum Rods and Reels, Quantum Performance Tune, Mystic Lubricants, Lubrication Domination, and Tracker Boats, Fish the Finest. Today's equipment log is brought to you by Bill Dance Exclusive Rods by Quantum. Whether you're fishing for panfish, bass, catfish, or light saltwater, we have an action for you. Available at Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. Today's show is sponsored in part by Berkley, Catch More Fish, Bill Dance Exclusive Rods by Quantum, and by Garmin. Bite your fish, not your fish finder.
This whole thing, he's all wrapped up in all that goo-goo. Bringing in the pads with him. Looks like he's been tied up down there with a rope on him. Look at that mess. You know, the key to a rod, a bass rod, is a sensitive tip. And that's so important, what we're doing. You've got to feel what that bait's doing. We've talked about that. And especially in these dead lily pads, these stems are just kind of wavy like that. When you pull that bait into it, those stems just kind of move that way. And of course, you're putting resistance against it. And it feels like, as light as these bass are biting, they grab it and sometimes they don't really move with it, or they just get it and they just barely start to move off with it. And that feels just like one of those old stems moving. So feel is so critical. And this rod's got a tremendous amount of backbone, and the reel has got a real smooth drag system. See how smooth that drag? There's no jerks in it whatsoever. So it's a 6.1 to 1 gear ratio, which is plenty adequate. Now when I cast a jig and it hits the water, I want it to drop vertically, not swing back toward me. Now I'm gonna say that again. When I cast a jig and it hits the water, I want it to drop vertically, not swing back toward me. Now I'll admit, this is much easier to do with spinning gear than bait casting. But when I'm using bait casting tackle, like I am today, what I do when my jig hits the water is to barely lift my thumb off the spool and raise my rod tip. This prevents the pendulum effect and helps the jig to fall straight down. As the jig falls, I lower the rod tip and place my thumb loosely on the free spool so that I can maintain a good contact with the lure and detect a strike. One. Where are you going, boy? A pretty fish right there. Jump. All right, you through. Here we go. The coloration in those fish. That ice cold water. Okay, tell you what, let me show you the jig and plastic attractor that we're using today. It's a doggone good one. It's a 1/4 ounce Bass Pro Shop Enticer jig, which sports a 3/0 hook and a silicone skirt. Now the plastic attractor is one you've seen me use many times here on Bill Dance Outdoors. It's a 3.5 inch Bass Pro Shop Swimming Elite chunk that has all the action you need. It's clean, easy to use, it's got a solid body head, and the two tails have got a tremendous amount of action. It's easy to hook and remove, and basically it's very inexpensive, and you can catch many fish on just this one chunk.
The Bill Dance question and answer of the week is brought to you by Bill Dance Exclusive Rods by Quantum. Whether you're fishing for panfish, bass, catfish, or light saltwater, we have an action for you. Available at Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's.
I've heard about Berkeley crappie nibbles for years, but never really used them until last week. Do they work? You better believe they do. I was amazed. The bite was slow until my fishing buddy said, "Watch this." He put a Power Bait Chroma Glow nibble on and caught 4 in a row. What? Pass the plate. I was sold. These things are great. Try them. You'll be amazed too.
Today's show is sponsored in part by Millennium Marine, a new class of comfort. And by Garmin Force Trolling Motors, fish with force. Closed captioning provided by PowerPole, the original shallow water anchor.
Today's product tip is brought to you by Garmin and their GPS map series sonar combos. With advanced sonar technology like Chirp and exclusive Panoptix all-seeing sonar, you'll spend less time finding your fish.
Anglers looking for a way to make their smaller boats stay put in shallow water? Check out the Power Pole Heavy Duty Spike. The spike helps hold small boats exactly where you want to keep them. It also secures the bow of a bass boat that has power poles. Each spike comes with a nylon dock line and push grips to help you easily sink it into sand or mud. Need to stay steady in one spot? Spike that spot. You can fish there as long as you wish.
Come be a part of Bill Dance Digital. Join us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Follow us.
Got a fish right there. Haven't hung up. Whoop, 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 whoop. Yeah, he's got all that goo-goo around him. But that's okay. I got you. Boy, a nice one too. Boy, that's a good bait. I'm not kidding you. I'll deal with that in a minute. Isn't that a pretty one? Ooh-wee. Yes, you are, you sweet thing, you. To me, a jig is a presentation lure, and its main presentation takes place as it falls. You'll find that the majority of strikes occur as this bait drops or falls back to the bottom or off of cover. And the most productive way I've found to fish it is to make soft, accurate cast and let the jig fall straight to the bottom or to the top of any submerged cover. Once it settles, I lift my rod tip once, bringing the jig up several inches, and then let it fall again. If this doesn't earn a strike, I lift it again, and as it falls a second time, I'll usually twitch it very lightly by moving my wrist and letting it fall again. I normally repeat this motion again several times and then reel it in and cast again. However, if cover is present and my lure is climbing through it, I'll usually yo-yo it up and down very slowly. When fishing the lure this way, the strike may be so light that all you feel is a heavy sensation on your line. You know, many times you won't feel a strike when a bass hits the jigs. All you'll feel is just sluggish weight on the other end. Just a slight pull of your rod tip will tell you there's something alive that's got it. Now, when this happens, what you want to do is just reel down, just pull back just a little bit, and then just set the hook with a strong upward jerk and hang on. That spongy feeling many times is a fish. Sometimes they'll just hit it, like I said earlier, and they'll just hold on to it, especially in cold water. Ooh-wee. Boom. Get your hand in that cold water. Whoa. Come on back here. Come on back here, you rascal. Pretty fish. Fat. Nice, nice, nice. But without question, the jig and a chunk combination is a consistent bass catcher if you rig it and you present it properly. I want to tell you how much we appreciate you tuning in, and we hope to catch you again next time. If you've never fished this combination, you ought to give it a try. It might surprise you.
Thanks for watching Bill Dance Outdoors. Join us here again next week.
Now I've gone fishing with Bill Dance today.